exactly, for an hour straight, doing that over and over again,
Yeah.
it hurt for sure. So I think it'll do very well in a practice setting like the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you
those are the drums that I'm rocking.
do you endorse Remo?
I do. Yep.
Okay. What heads do you use on everything with them?
Uh, it depends. If I'm in a live setting,
Yeah.
I'm definitely using clear heads for one. Um, and I fell in love with the Power Stroke 4 heads. I believe it's the Power Stroke 4 with like the inlay. There's like a ring inlay
Mm-hmm.
on it, and those were like the types of heads where I didn't necessarily I didn't need any muffling at all.
Okay.
It's just you hit it, it's clear, it's musical, paired up with the already musical shell of a DW.
Yeah.
Woo! Very nice.
Yeah.
So a lot of clears. And then if I'm doing coded, I actually like. I'm trying to stay away from muffling as much as possible. So the dot,
Mm-hmm.
the control sound dot, except in a coded version,
Right.
is like very. I've come to like that, and that's if I'm not. I wouldn't do that with in a live setting when senses fail, because I feel like it would choke the drum too much.
Sure.
So if I were to do it, I would do it more in like a studio setting and more controlled, or like if it's like any other types of genres of music, I'll probably do that. Yeah, so my jam are the clear P4s as well as the coded black dots.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you like, do you always use an Emperor X on your snare regardless?
Yeah, because if I were to go any more than that, I would get into like the marching drum territory, which I've been known to do in the past, like the black maxes,
Yeah.
if you will, like the Kevlar, the Kevlar stuff, which is always just too much, honestly. Unless it's like a bell brass.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Like those marching drum heads sound really good on bell brass, but everything else I keep it to the Emperor X. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being that you're as heavy of a hitter as you are, I don't know if going anything less would handle.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've always loved the sound. I love the sound of the control sounds. Dot,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But the top layer always goes that. Yeah, it just disintegrates with how hard I'm hitting for if it's column morale metal-esque type stuff, or if it's like hard rock or a rock and roll band of Senses Fail. Like I'm just destroying the head after 3 shows, and I have to change it. So yeah, the perfect in between of that, from Black Max to control sound, is an Emperor X. It lasts the longest for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys here, a lot of the session drummers that I work with, they'll use the controlled sound on their snares in sessions, and I think it's because it's a single ply, you get a lot of the top end, and then just the dot in the middle is your muffling. But
Yeah.
What I heard somebody tell me was like, well, I use an Emperor X on the road, or I think it's a P77 or something like that.
Yes, those are great. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we'll use those on the road because when you're playing live, you're not so much concerned about the tone of it, really just the attack and the smack of it live.
Yeah.
Whereas in the studio, the mic is picking up every detail, and like with a single ply, like a controlled sound, they're like, we can go very minimal with the head itself and then stack onto it whatever we need. Because in the studio, you're putting blankets over your kick drum anyway, and just doing sound manipulation like crazy.
Yes.
I'm an Emperor X guy, and really just all the way through, just because the idea of having a 2-ply head and a dot in the middle, to me, is just like, I don't have to worry, like you said, I don't really have to worry about any kind of dampening or muffling or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I completely agree. And then, like, for like a live setting too, you're saying it's more about like the crack
Yeah.
And I agree, because it's a part of the mixing of the front of your front of house to kind of give it the proper effects,
Right.
to kind of full body it out. As long as you got that good toned initial crack, then
Yeah.
the rest can be taken care of. It's easier to be taken care of, for the final product.
Right.
Yeah.
What about kick drum? What do you use on your kick drum?
I use one. I try not to. Try to use like the thinnest, like a P3 or something like that. Or I try. I'm leaning more towards not bogging down the kick drum too much.
Sure.
To get like a real. I don't know. I've always. I'm kind of like into like a weird thing right now with kick drums, because I've always done like longer kick drums for some reason. Like 2022 is long to me.
Yeah.
Longer, and I've just seen the result of like, 22 by like 18, or stuff that's like a little bit, shorter.
Yeah.
So like, man, especially for like double kick stuff and getting like the articulation and the definition out of really tight kicks. You look at like guys like, Matt Greiner, if you will, and it's just like, these are small little kick drums, smaller kick drums, but it packs so much punch, because it takes a shorter time to get, to get to the batter, to the resonant, and everything like that. So all the schematics and the science and the blueprints of like the physics of everything. But that I have like, I don't know. So I don't know. I think I am gonna start messing with finding different kick sizes in my life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might be one thing. I might have like my go-to kick drum head for that style, but it might change for me here really quickly.
Yeah, like I've heard guys say that their favorite, I forget who it was that told me this, but one of his favorite kick drums to record with is either an 18 or a 20.
Okay.
Because like it's so small, but when in a controlled environment like a studio, the punch that it provides is just unreal. And
yes.
I play a 26 by 20, and so
shit.
it's a cannon. But
yeah.
but there's compensation that comes with it. Like with a 22 or a 20, your head is already so small that there's not that much like surface area, and so not only like across the head, but even in a shallower depth, like you said, everything is so condensed and compact that everything's really quick.
Yeah.
And then with like a 26 diameter and 20-inch deep, you have more mass that you may, like if you want to get a higher tuning or something, you have to tighten twice as much as a 20 or whatever. And
yeah.
And too, like a lot of these guys here, like in the studio, they'll have like concert drums, concert bass drums to record with. So you walk in, he's sitting behind a 36-inch and getting crazy sounds, like you said, just for the having the option of different kick drum sizes. But it makes sense, like in genres that you're in, like the punchier the better, and not having to manipulate, or less manipulation, and just getting the sound, because the integrity of the shell I think is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned Matt Greiner. He was the first or second interview that I did. They came through Austin and were playing at Emo's, and I chatted with him for a little while. Cymbals, you've been with Zildjian for how long?
Oh, I've been to Zildjian for, it's going on like 7 years.
Yeah.
Vic Firth was my first legit endorsement. So yeah, Zildjian was right after that, same day kind of things. Yeah, so I've been with Zildjian for quite some time.
What are you using with them? I know your favorite cymbal is like a 20th anniversary, right?
yeah. I've done enough. I put that out into the universe enough times through the years. But yeah, no, it is. It's still to this day the go-to, the best crash ride I've ever played and will ever play. They don't need to make another one. I have it behind me too. I just did today. Today I just did like a big typed up a big email for all the symbol swaps, all the cracked stuff. So yeah, I'm actually staring at it right now. It's gonna go back. It's gonna go back to its home, and I'm gonna get a new one because it's still up.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you're saying what am I using?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If for like live settings, census fail.
Yeah. Let's talk live.
Sure. Yeah. A customs all the way for that. Just because it's the census fail music's like, it's up, it's energetic, and I want cymbals that are brilliant and that mimic that mood and that vibe. But for my experimental side of things, with like if I'm like at home or anything, oh man, you gotta go the caves. Really, any type of the dark, natural finish caves are a lot of fun. So I'm like a chameleon, man. I go back and forth from those two depending on what the music calls for. That's how I am for a lot of drum heads, drumsticks too. Like I slowly go off of mood. That's like the only thing that I go off of. So it's whatever the mood calls for.
Okay.
Ooh, my thumb just went over the thing.
You're good.
There's another group text that's probably about to buzz my phone. So if that starts going off, I'm gonna turn that off.
I can't hear anything, so you're good.
Okay.
That's funny you mentioned sticks, because Dave and I we did an episode on the podcast about drumsticks, and I thought it was interesting. Chad Cromwell, who is the session guy here, I noticed in his stick bag when I was setting up his gear that he had like 3 or 4 different. I think he's a Vic user as well, and he had 3 or 4 different types. But what's interesting is like my calluses have built up for me. Like I use the Travis Barker signatures, but I use those like that's it. And because like if I play like that's like his signature is like a 5B almost, like a 5B extreme, I guess. Yeah. So even if I went down to a 5A, which isn't that much different, my hand will cramp. Or if I go bigger to like a 2B or something, it won't feel right. And so
overcompensating the engine.
Yeah, it's like it's like my hand and muscles know that it's not right. Have you ever experienced anything like that for you, or are you really using different kind of sticks in certain? I think you said it, like in certain settings. What's your? Let me backtrack. What stick do you use live, or does that change as well?
No, I've always stuck with a longer stick. So the X55B. So it's 5B extreme with an added length, even more added length.
Oh wow!
Because it started as like just a horrible habit of the stick sliding all the way to my hand sliding down the stick. So I tried to correct that, and I've corrected that, and then it's just stayed with a longer stick.
Yeah.
That's all I do. That's all I do live, and that's what I've always done. I've always done that stick. So yeah, I think it's like an X55B.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then when I am experimenting, I'll go through whatever. It's just like I said, like I always say, it's just like whatever my mood's in. I recently I didn't really get my ass handed to me. That's such an aggressive thing. I didn't get my ass handed to me, but I did get myself into a situation where I had someone, a guy that I was playing music with, like look back and tell me, this is like not census fail, this is something completely different. It was like more of like a blues country bass. It was like my first time ever playing this style of music in a live setting. He looked back at me, he's just like, next time you come, bring thinner sticks, man, because you're way too loud. Like, that was like a realization of just like, holy shit, if I want to be this like chameleon type of drummer that like kind of like blends into whatever setting, it's just like I have to think about everything: the size of the drum heads, the drumsticks. I never been critiqued on the drumsticks before.
Yeah.
Because I was playing so loud, and
Right.
stick definition was just like, oh my god, I'm trying to play like a trained shuffle beat, and I'm up there with like extreme 5Bs. Like, this is not a rock band, dude. This is like, like calm, like Johnny Cash music.
Yeah.
Bring it down, man. Bring it down. So no, I just recently got into being like aware of like drumstick sizes, which is cool because I also like I've recently fallen in love with root sticks, and I used to play like hot rods. It's another name for them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like the dowel rod sticks?
Yeah. Yeah, I just love the sound of those, and it's cool. It like brings a whole nother like percussive element to like the drum set, where if you just play with just regular sticks, it just you won't get that cool sound. So yeah, and I have mallets. I have little like jazz style like A tips, or like it's like an AJ. I don't know. I have a lot of drumsticks, and I'm very excited to start diving into other genres with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up playing in churches, was where I kind of cut my teeth playing, and like smaller rooms would the first person to get called out is the drummer, because they're like, dude, you're playing too loud, man, or they have like they have like the Plex shields, or the whole other closet on stage, and then the one that I played for right before I moved to Nashville was a big like 5,000 seater arena almost, and there was like there was no shield, and I got to wail as much as I wanted to, and just really got kind of play a rock show. But yeah, like I didn't realize that for a long time, especially on cymbals too. It seems like the drums like with actual drumsticks, I think it seems like you can get away with like a certain kind of stick in whatever room with your drums, and just like your velocity changes. But it seems like cymbals, like the bigger the stick, the heavier your crash, and the thinner the stick, the lighter it is. And I don't know. I feel like it seems like, at least in my experience, the front of house guy is always complaining about cymbals. Like, is that where yours is at, or are you kind of like your drums are too loud, or is it really just your cymbals?
No, it's always just the cymbals, man. Okay. It's like if you had a knob, I tell everyone, it's like, dude, if I had a freaking knob, I would turn it down. I'm so sorry. But like in recording sessions where it's just like, keep hitting the drums and the snare at the velocity that you're hitting, but can you somehow
change
the velocity of how you're hitting the cymbals, and can you do this in real time? And I'm like, no. I can't. Or maybe this is something that I need to practice on, because it does. A lot of people need you to calm the hell down on cymbals a lot of times.
Yeah,
it's always funny. At like every single like record making, drum tracking situation I've ever been in, the producer has always told me chill out. Yeah, but like for live setting, I feel like I feel like I can just be animal. If the music calls for it, like I can just be up there just going off at 110%.
Yeah.